Yeah, we ready.
We ready?
We ready, but we about to be super ready. Play that fucking music again.
All right, play it.
Yeah. Oh shit! Not safe for Who we got? DC. Where we at? Johnson Studios. Oh shit! Who this?
God damn, I just wanna be free from the home that you know you have over me.
What up?
Feel me just right, and now you're losing me. Saying it's too tight, and I'm afraid if I say I'll be killing myself. Suicide, my love, I wonder will you take me under? Yeah. Feeling 6 feet underground, but you can't keep me under. It's flying high, I wanna know how that feels. It's flying high, I wanna know how that feels. It's flying high in the days of summer. It's flying high, it kinda makes me wonder.
Bong.
Got Chauncey, another super producer.
You know, that's
We are not safe for ears. We're live with the one and only Baltimore born and bred.
Yeah,
That's what I mean. They say from Alaska, Arkansas or something.
Arkansas, Alaska. Which one is it?
DC, Dcember Moon, the one. Let's give him a hand clap, yo.
Yeah, let's go.
I need more than one motherfucking person to give me a hand clap. Nigga said literally a hand clap. Nigga said you gonna get one hand clap. Thank you for coming on.
No problem.
We appreciate you. Obviously, let's open up. What's the name of that track? And who was on it?
So this is an artist I'm working with. Her name is Vicky L. She's
Okay.
from Baltimore.
Okay. Oh shit.
Yeah,
Nice.
that record was called Birds Flying High.
Okay.
You know, a nice little record, cool joint.
Yeah, you ain't lying. That's a nice little record.
Is that a sample track?
Yeah,
I'm about to say, boy, this
I
motherfucker Beast too just got me.
So yeah, it's a sample. I actually sampled the same sample they used for Biggie's Warning.
Okay.
But I just flipped it a little differently. You know, cool, something a little cool vibe.
Dope.
I wanted to give her that mixture, like sprinkle of like Amy, Amy Winehouse.
Okay.
Just like that real soulful,
Definitely
grimy,
soulful.
You know what I mean? Nice vocals.
Got that edgy
I love it.
to it.
So, obviously, we brought you on because you have a certain expertise, a certain speciality.
Right.
You are the #1 garbage man in Baltimore City. God damn, nigga, you made it! You made it! Nigga, we made it. No, you one of the premier, livest, dopest producers out of the area, out of the DMV, maybe even the East Coast, maybe the world, maybe this dimension. You might be the best of them. Fair to say? Fuck it. Say fair to say.
Fair to say.
And how all stories go, there's always a beginning, right? It's
Right.
always where you first started.
Right.
And it was probably some long-ass white tee with some long-ass capris. And
Some Air Forces.
Some Air Forces, right? So let's go back to that time we all remember. Go back to the first time you fell in love with music, the first time maybe you picked up your first piece of software or instrument.
Okay.
Walk us back to that.
So you want to know from the beginning?
From the beginning.
Take us to the beginning where it all
Grandmother
started.
basement, she told you shut that loud ass noise up and all that. Give me it all.
You was beatboxing on the table at lunch, you feel me? All that.
So, to be honest, I never had a passion for music.
Interview the fuck over. Get the fuck out.
I never
Cut it
had
off.
I never had a passion for music. I always said that a higher being, God, put it in my mind. And why I say that is because my 10th grade year of high school, right? One of my uncles had passed.
Okay.
So we was driving down South Carolina, and I was just in the back seat of the car while my parents was driving, and I was just looking out the window. And as I'm looking out the window, like just the trees and the clouds and everything like that, something literally just popped in my mind and was like, yo, you need to do music.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Was the music on in the car or was it like just dead silent?
Like, I don't even know. Like,
You was zoned out. And
I'm just like zoned.
music.
I'm a big daydreamer, so I just be daydreaming. So I get down South Carolina, right? meet one of my other uncles. Found out he had an independent record label called Showcase Records at the time, right? Also found out that Big Daddy Kane was my second cousin during that funeral, right? Because all my family was down there. So I'm like, okay, something is connecting, right? So my uncle, I'm telling him, I'm like, yo, I want to do music. I want to be a manager producer. At the time, I thought they was the same thing. I ain't know. I thought a manager producer.
Shit, we are there. Yeah.
So like, I'm talking to him. He was like, yo, you gotta be one. He was like, yo, the business will get you a lot further than the music. So he started teaching me like the business and how to like move and maneuver through the business. Like
I like that. Hold on. He said he told you from day one early, the business of the music business will get you a lot further than just your creative talent.
Right.
A lot of people don't. I didn't hear that until I wasted thousands of dollars.
Right. So
it was like, oh yeah, this business shit is something to it.
It's a whole different world.
So
what's his name? You don't mind shouting his name up? You ain't got to. I just want to give him credit because that's some shit that people in all whatever industry you might be in, you need those type of like, hey, look, bro, I know you want to be the best or whatever, but you gotta learn the infrastructure behind it.
Right. Yeah.
All right, continue.
Yeah,
I just like that.
Bet. So that was the first part. So I came back to Baltimore. He was like, yo, find 3 hot artists in your city. Send me their demos down. At the time, my only network was my high school. Right? So I'm going through my high school, learning, like, just seeing from people over the years, like, freestyle, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yo, my uncle got a label. Can you give me some music? Blah, 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 blah. I'm trying to get a situation going. A couple people honestly gave me tapes. It was like, this was like doing, and it also tapes was transitioning to CD still. So you still had some tapes around. So people was giving me cassette tapes. I was mailing them down to
Cassette tapes.
Yeah, I was mailing them down to South
Carolina.
Right. They're like, what is that? Real quick, keep talking. Oh, what the fuck
Man,
is
the kids don't even know what a skipping CD sound like.
Right, they don't. You're right.
Yeah,
Everything is streamed. Yeah. Yo, when you used to take it out, breathe on it real quick, and then rub it on your chest.
They wipe the CDs like this.
They said they gave VHS.
Yeah.
Right.
They gave your ass a VHS.
Then scrub the dirt out with shit.
What's up? So that was my whole thing. So my uncle, he sent me back. I sent their cassette tapes back down. Where the fuck niggas go? Oh, I went to Ghost. Oh, down. There we go. I sent the cassette tapes back down South Carolina. He started testing me business. Boom. He liked one artist. We kind of rode with him for a little bit. But, you know, it kind of didn't go nowhere. But that was like my first stepping stone into music. After I did that, came back the following year is where me and one of my closest friends, Jay Oliver, he had just got put out of Cardinal Gibbons. And me and him had 5 classes back to back. And the one particular class they had a class called Intro to Music Technology, which taught you which was teaching you how to make music digitally, because everything was leaving from analog to digital. And we had that class for a year. We was using like Cakewalk, like the first version of Cakewalk to make beats and stuff. And that's where like the music journey kind of started. But I still wasn't passionate about making beats.
You still maybe more the business
process
business,
of it all. Like, I still didn't want to make beats or nothing like that. So after that,
so you want to be like maybe like an A&R or something?
Yeah, honestly, like because it was just easy. I always had a great network, and that's how it's going all the time around.
Right.
So during this process, we was having the class. All right. So that's like the second phase, right? Okay. The third phase was, like I said, me and Jay Oliver had the classes together, but he wanted to be an artist. He used to go by an artist by the name of J Baby back then. Right?
Jay, I don't remember J Baby. Did he come with blonde hair? Did he come with blonde hair? He's J Baby.
What up, J Baby?
He used to go by J Baby, and at the time he had this manager, and he didn't want. This was his first time at the studio. It was a studio called Above Ground.
I remember Above Ground.
It's funny because CR's in here. We used to intern for CR and a guy named Nate on Above Ground when we was in like our senior year of high school.
Okay.
And during this time, this was his first, like I said, his first time going to the studio. So he didn't he didn't want to go by himself. So he lied to his manager and told him that I was his producer. Right. So we get to the studio, the records and stuff playing, and his manager like, yo, I love these records. Can you make something for my R&B artist, reggae artist, rapper, blah 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 blah. So we got scared as shit, and we was like, yo, how the fuck we gonna do all these records, you know, that fast? So we, you know, he came over my crib, brought this program called Reason, which I still use today, and he was like, yo, you gotta do this, this, and this. And that's how that's what forced me, because we were scared and we didn't want to get in trouble for lying. We didn't know what the fuck was going to happen.
You ain't know how
Regardless, nothing would have happened anyway in retrospect, but we was just like, yo,
we gotta do it.
We gotta do it. So for like that whole first year, I didn't even have a keyboard. I was just making drums and finding little sound bites. So all my drums, like I was just doing drum programming for like a whole year. Okay. Boom, that's stage 3. Stage 4, we finally graduate high school, right? I'm going to college. Me and my other partner, 4.0, his name Damani, him and Jay Oliver grew up together, right? So you see how it's time together, right? So me and him, I was like, yo, we should find an artist and I manage them, you produce, right? Because Damani and 4.0 and Jay Oliver, they started producing like around the same time. But Jay Allen was more instrumental. Damani was more sample. During this, and you gotta think, during this era, it was the Rockefeller era.
Heavy samples.
You know, heavy samples. You know, you had people like Bank Harrell,
Just Blaze.
you know, Blaze, Kanye, like all these type of cats like that, Heat Makers, that whole sound. It was just crazy. So we back to the story, but so we working with the artists, I'm managing them. We moving. And the artist is the actual one of the guys that my uncle actually liked from one of the demo tapes.
Oh wow! So that circled back too.
It's circle back. So we would meet every day before we went to class. So we would work from like 9 in the morning to 12 in the afternoon, and then go to our afternoon classes. And that's how was our schedule. So one day I'm in the class. I'm asking 4.0. I'm like, yo, show me how to sample. Because at the time, like I said, at the time, all I could do was make drums. I didn't have a keyboard. So he showed me how to sample. The first sample
turned your ass the fuck out.
Yeah.
Period.
The first thing I did, I can't remember. I know it's a James Brown song, and I recently tried to look for it again. But it was a James Brown record. It wasn't even Big Payback. It was like some real obscure joint. It just had like a dope melody. But that was my first sample, and it just kind of took off from there. My sample game was trash. It was so trash. It was like. It was just dumb trash, and eventually I.
So the splicing was off, or
like it was just like I didn't. Like I said, I never had any musical background, nothing. So I didn't have rhythm really. Like I didn't know how to keep it on beat. I was just making these real creative drums, but it was like they would never really drop. But then once I learned how to make the creative drums and make it drop, my drum game became crazy, which worked out for me because. A lot of people tell you to make your melodies and stuff first. I will always make my and then build around and the drums last. I was the cat that was making all these crazy melodies, all these crazy drums, and then chopping the samples. So it made my drums super intricate, and then I had these crazy samples on top. And I think I do have like some old beats. Like my first original beats.
That'll be dope. I have some of my old beats, but I have my old beats because I'm old. You know what I mean? We're on cassette tapes and shit.
Yeah. What's up? We got a few people in here. All right. So yeah. So that's how it all started, and then it just kind of took off from there. And then like at the time, like I said, I was still into like doing the business portion. So I ended up getting us our first label meeting at the age of 17 or 18 at Atlantic Records.
Right.
Atlantic. If y'all
17, 18.
Right.
Atlantic Records.
This nigga.
Yeah.
Damn. That's Boss Hog right there.
Yeah.
So as far as like, I mean, once you got that part down, like how long do you think it took you well, days in and days out, hours at a time, how long do you think it took you to like kind of really get into it and really master it or make it the effect or the way you wanted it to go?
Right. It took about honestly, so we had our first label meeting right after winter break of our freshman year of college. So it was in our freshman year of college, and we had our winter break, and I had basically what happened. Okay, so this was the trick. This is before I knew what digital marketing was and all this type of stuff. So when Facebook first started, you could add, you can search jobs, right? So I could type in Atlantic Records, and everybody for Atlantic Records would pop up. I could type in, job when Job was alive. or J Records, and all these people will pop up. So what I did was I had made like a template message, and I sent it to I would search every label on Facebook,
pretty much email blast,
email them all the same shit. Some of them I asked like, yo, how can I become an A&R intern? Some of them I was like, yo, how can I send you my music? And this one particular, a few people hit me back, but one of them really like rolled out for me, and her name was Jennifer Goldfarb. Right at the time, she was an intern under Craig Kelman. Craig Kelman is like the Jimmy Iovine, but over in Atlantic. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So that whole winter, I'm sending her beats. She was like, I'm loving it. So I actually, at the end of the winter break, I lied and was like, yo, I didn't know how to get a meeting with a label. So I just basically like, hey, me and my homies, we gonna be in town. Can we have a meeting? And she said yes.
It was like,
so
niggas had McDonald's and she was like,
hey, yo, how the fuck we gonna get there?
Yeah. So me, Jay Oliver, and
Jay Baby.
We took, and a dude named Mark Milley. He got the incredible, what is it called? The Sang Art Gallery downtown now.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's his thing. But we all hopped in my mom's Ford Focus and drove to New York. We got pulled over by the police.
Niggas ain't thinking like Greyhound or something?
Yo, like,
but this is all fresh.
This all fresh. I'm talking about.
They had to make a quick move real quick.
I'm talking about Weebies and MapQuest.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? This is before
GPS. That's true.
Yeah, before GPS.
Yeah, before that shit was on the phone and everything. You read directions and shit. Hey, yo, hurry up. Get on.
Right. So we doing that, and we taking the drives. We get there. I'm talking about like my nigga. We like green as shit, don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? So we in the office. They like the first time niggas opened up the mini fridge and was like, yo, you want cranberry juice and orange juice? The assistants coming in, because we was actually in Craig Commons' office at the time, and they brought in like 3 or 4 other A&Rs.
Which one of y'all farted first?
No, somebody was nervous.
Yo, so we in there, and like at the time, like I was good at like I was always good at like curating like playlists and putting tracks together. So I used to always give the beat CDs a feel. You get what I'm saying? So I had it going from like R&B to rap to like whatever. You get what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
It was just a great feel, like the perfect beat CD.
It was just
and
like
every
go smooth through. Yeah.
Go. So like they were just loving the records, loving it. But nothing really came out of it. But that was like the beginning.
Right.
So from
it built a relationship.
Yeah, it built a relationship. But what we did get out of it, she's the first one who actually A&R'd us to guide us. She was just like, yo, we need to have 12-bar verses, 8-bar hooks, a bridge. So she gave us structure. Right? So at the time, we was the only niggas, when we came back, we thought that's how it was. We was the only niggas putting bridges in rap records.
That's a big deal. That's one of the things where if you listen to production, when you start hearing like bridges, the pre-part, the end, you like, oh, this that was probably the evolution, the next step in it.
So like, if you listen
that's
to
a straight 16s.
Yeah, like it's just so many ways we can take it. Like even you listen to like the early Joe Budden records we had bridges in those hip hop records.
Right.
We was doing filters on samples before 40 and Drake was doing it. This was
say it again.
2000.
Say it one more time.
We're
gonna make a clip on this.
We was doing filters on our beats before 40 was doing it for Drake. If you go back and listen to our records, because this is the thing, we didn't know how to play over our samples because we didn't know how to match key. So we would filter it all out so we can be able to play instrumentation over the sample. It's similar to what Drake and them do now. Like we were just doing it in a more of a, they did that OVO sound, we was doing more hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like that more boom bap type of thing. Damn, we kind of popping it there.
Not safe for is, link in the bio.
Gang.
Listen, get what? YouTube, iTunes, Spotify,
SoundCloud. What's up? We in here, Don Trump. You know we gotta sit down and do.
Oh yeah, he do rap too, don't he? Don Trump. Yeah, he used to Gold used to rap. He used to fuck with Don Trump.
What's up, Curve Club?
All right, D. So let's get back to
what's popping, King Show.
This nigga shout out everybody.
Everybody in here.
You can't say you don't show love.
True.
So we got the beginning of it all, right? We see how you laid the foundation,
right?
And you always, it seemed like you were inclined to the business side of the music business, right? It wasn't just like, I'll make beats and just see where it goes,
right?
We got this amazing fucking list of people, yourself or Misfit Music, right? Was that the name of it?
It was called Misfit Sounds.
Misfit Sounds.
Yeah.
That you guys, the amazing people. How did you make that shit happen? Was it just the next week you shot some blast email? How did you work in this list of Joe Buttons, 50 Cent?
So Misfit Sounds. Misfit Sounds, that was my idea, right?
Okay.
And how that came about was, so we had Jay Oliver. He was one of those.
J Baby.
He
gonna fuck you up with this.
Because we gonna keep bringing it up.
We had my homeboy 4.0 that I was telling you about, and a guy named Salem, and it was a guy named F Major. So it was like 5. So we was like the super production team. It was like 5 of us, and what was so unique, all of us can make beats on our own, but we would come together and make beats. So if I made 15 beats, Jay Oliver made 15, Yo made 15, Yo made 15, we clearing over 60 beats a month. And the labels is like, yo, how the fuck are y'all doing this many beats? You get what I'm saying? In this era, like I said, people were still using analog, and we was like the first generation of digital.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So we're jumping out 16 beats. I mean, like we definitely clearing over 30 beats a month because everybody's making their own, and then we would go and collab.
And these are solid beats too.
Solid
these ain't like
beats.
done.
And how long does it take you to construct? How long do you think it takes you?
This is where it gets tricky.
So
this is where it gets tricky.
Now I'm not like a cookie cutter, like rapid, boom, boom, boom. It happens once in a blue moon. Some days it can take me an hour. Some days it can take me 30 minutes. Some days
it take you days.
Like right now, it's this beat that I'm doing now. I know it's going to take me about 4 days. Like I was working on it till 5 this morning. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's so many layers that have to be done in intricate parts that it's going to be crazy. Like,
and sometimes it's that je ne sais quoi, that what am I missing? And you could be eating at a vegan spot.
Right.
And it's be like, nigga, that's what I need. Yeah. Just something to
like
add
right
to
now,
it.
Because like certain things like stretching the sample and stuff, right? You can't really see all these parts, but it's like,
they need to see that.
Oh, they need to
see that. They need to see how my man is an evil genius over here.
So I'm gonna pull up something more intricate, but this is like the start of how like one of my sessions might look. But if you look at, y'all got it zoomed in.
A little bit. Yeah.
All right, cool. So like y'all see this? So I try to color code it. So green is always my hooks, pink is always my verses. All this up here is just drums. Layers of drums in sequence, right? All this, but then when you go down here, all of this is like the melodies and instrumentation. You know what I'm saying? So this is like a real, let me see if y'all can see this. This is like a real intricate session. You know what I mean?
Broken down in the
That's a lot of layers.
There's levels to the shit.
See, if I'm the audio engineer, I don't like your monkey ass. You gonna have to stem all that shit the fuck out. Right. I want stem on stems. I want 3 big stems.
3 big stems.
This ain't got fucking keys and fucking
about 80 different. About 80 different.
You got 4 different kicks.
Yeah. So like, this is something that took me maybe like an hour.
You posted this online, didn't you? Fucking bitch. I'm gonna let you off. Hey, yo, pause that shit real quick. Pause that shit. When the fuck they start doing that?
What?
That had to be the last 5 or maybe 10 years. That like them stutters with the kicks. They didn't do that all back in the day. When the fuck did they start doing that?
I don't know.
You gotta chop those and like manually slide them in, or is it like a scale you put it in? Like,
so how I do my drums is I'll single them out without the 808s, so you can kind of hear them.
Pull the post. Leave your phone out, right? I'm gonna read off some of his accolades and get some information about them too.
So like with this.
Go to his post. Yeah,
go to his page.
Yeah. I mean, all pages.
So you look at it. So I'm doing triplet rolls.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's just.
I'm glad I brought my boots in here so I can get the stomping around this motherfucker.
Right. So that's just how we did. You know, we did that type of stuff. But then like you go, like I said, something that's going to take. That took me maybe an hour. Right. Something like This is taking me a little longer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but that's
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
take
yeah.
me like that's gonna take me a couple days because I gotta go back. I still gotta add drums. I gotta add transitions. I gotta add effects. I gotta do like all that type of stuff, and it's gonna just take me a while to get all that stuff done. You know what I mean? Just adding all those parts and pieces.
All right, so we're gonna run down. This has been a pretty cool story. It's a lot of stuff I didn't know.
Yeah,
and it shows that it wasn't just some chaotic
or flute type
flute. I just took all my leftovers in the refrigerator and made a meal.
Yeah.
Like, it was in the beginning that intangible whisper in your ear and your soul and your spirit, I guess.
Yeah.
So that shit, we ain't never gonna find out. That might be something we all share in the universe.
Yeah.
Or, you know. But what's cool, from there you kind of thought it out and you strategized behind it. So we're gonna run down some of the top 5 of the people that I know that you currently work with, right? And one of the hottest in the social sphere of music and everything when it comes to social media is Joe Buttons.
Okay.
And I remember you had multiple placements on multiple mixtapes.
Yeah, so I did.
How did that go down?
Okay, so the first time I've never been a fan of Joe Budden.
Get the fuck out. Not even a little fan?
Not even a little
Not
fan.
The lyricism, nothing.
No,
The honesty,
I've
nothing.
never been a fan of Joe Budden.
Wow.
And the reason why I said that is because I just never connected to his music. I was just like, oh, the Pump It Up guy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
damn, that's what he got. That's gonna be in his tombstone, the Pump It Up guy.
You know what I mean? But how I found out about him, it was this artist I was working with at the time. His name was Ill Conscious. He's from Baltimore. And he was a big Joe Budden fan, so he used to always come through the crib when we making beats like, yo, Joe Budden, Joe Budden, Joe Budden. And at the time, Joe Budden had, I think, put something on his YouTube page and was like, send beats, blah, 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 blah. So I end up sending him beats, like off the random. And his homie, the dude named Killer BH, that's like his best friend. They used to be his hype man. Like they used to always be on the road together. Was like, yo, we like this, 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 and this. And I'm like, oh, for real? And they were like, yeah, we can use it. I was like, all right, cool. At the time, I didn't know, like I said, like I knew the business, but I didn't know the process of the business. So I didn't know you had to go through the producer agreement, all that stuff. I knew you had to have publishing. I knew you had to sign up for ASCAP. I knew you had to do certain things, but I wasn't well versed. This was only like 3 years in, so I was still kind of learning. But they ended up using the 3 records. We did splits on them, but we just never got it. I just didn't know that you had to ask for the advance up front or to like go and just get it. Be like, my nigga, what's up with my advance for these? You get what I'm saying? And he ended up using 3 records on it was called Halfway House. That was his project, Halfway House. So that's how that happened. Fast forward, I'm still building with him. The singer Imani.
Remember Imani? I've seen him a couple times in New York.
Imani is like Joe Butt. That was like Joe Button's like artist, partner, homie. You know, they were just building together.
Singer.
Yeah, singer. Did a lot of features with Joe. Did a lot of features with Jada at the time. And Imani actually got me the placement with Joe Button the second go around, which was called Top of the World featuring Kirk O'Bang. That was the second time I got a placement with Joe, and it came out dope.
I remember that track.
It's I actually used it's crazy. All the joints I used for him was samples. It was those samples, but that one particular, it was during like the whole Drake phase, and I was trying to make something for Drake, and he tried to actually get Drake on the record,
Joe?
Joe.
Yeah, because Drake is a big fan of Joe.
Yeah.
Trying to finesse that
Yo,
shit.
he tried to get Drake on the record, but instead he had to get the second, somebody comparable, which was Kirko, that had that similar sound.
Right.
And that's how that record came out. But Joe Budden was a dick to me.
Yeah?
Yeah, he was.
Example, give it to him.
So,
because a lot of people watching this, the fun stuff is what you always see. You see the cool videos.
There's always that behind the scenes, like,
it's just you don't want to deal with.
What's up?
Always.
So Joe Budden was a straight
and give
dick.
it to us, not safe for ear style.
He was a real dick, right? His people called me, was like, yo, he down that sound stage, come through. That's the first time I had heard the record Top of the World. And this time he was just on Love and Hip Hop. He just had put that record out with Wayne. So he was hot. He was getting hot again on the music side. Slaughterhouse was just building up. So he was finding his second win. So we get to the joint, and the nigga was like, some people came in. He was like, yeah, I like the record, blah blah blah. And then some people was like, yo, can we sit? He was like, yeah, we about to make room. I'm about to kick them out and leave, so they can leave.
This nigga.
And I'm like, my nigga, I just did your record. You gonna just be like, I'm gonna kick these niggas out? I'm like,
and when they like y'all was cool enough, you can understand the nuance of the joke. Yeah, but it's like, are you serious, nigga?
Like, I kind of stopped, and I thought he was like, all right, have a nice day, like that, like on some like my nigga, like it was crazy.
Right.
Then they was being like, they was being cheap on spending the bread on that record.
They be taking advantage of you.
Yeah, they was trying to take the brand. It's like me and my lawyer and his lawyer had to go back and forth and find an equal medium because they wasn't trying to pay me my worth as a producer. Like, that's one thing about these new producers. They don't know their value, and they devalue themselves for trying to sell beats for $100, $200. Like, no, my nigga, you spent hours in your mom's basement or at the studio crafting, putting out these ideas.
Right.
Yo, get your just due. And that's what I was fighting for that record. But that was just,
Got you.
Wiz Khalifa.
Wiz Khalifa. So the Wiz Khalifa record was with
who's now doing Muay Thai, nigga. Trying to get your ass back in that fucking bitch.
Nigga, Muay Thai.
You come for that ass.
Nigga, Muay Thai, that's the shit right there. But with Wiz, it was with that joint with Los. So it was called Dope Dealer. That was a collab that I did with Jay Oliver and 4.0. and 4.0. We had did that record. Yo, is this screen went dead or something?
I don't know. I think it's facing the wrong way.
Oh yeah, it's facing the wrong way. So
was that a similar thing? Did you just reach out to somebody? Did somebody know somebody?
Oh, like
with that,
so with that one, like I said, that was through King Los. So we had did the record, and then Los got the feature, and then that's how the Wiz joint came about. But I've always had close ties with Taylor Gang. So I used to work with So I used to work with
T Mills.
Yeah. So T Mills. He wasn't with
Taylor Gang. Oh,
no, he wasn't with Taylor Gang. But the girl Courtney Noel.
Okay.
She was like she was actually the first lady of Taylor Gang before Lola got there. Because she grew up in Pittsburgh with Wiz, with Chevy, with all of them.
Hold on.
And she
Courtney Noel.
She's from she lived in Baltimore for a while.
Yeah. I know her. I actually know her cousin. I used to hoop with that thing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So she's from here. So she's from Baltimore. So during this time, she had came to Baltimore. She recorded her whole first project at Right Way, and somebody had told her about me, and I came through the session, and I ended up doing a record with her. But then we just built a relationship, and then after she did that, she had signed an official deal with Taylor Gang when they signed Chevy officially, Lola, her, and some other dude, and then they had dropped Taylor Alter Dice. You know what I'm saying? During that time, which was funny, Taylor, she called me real late at night one time and was like, yo, Taylor Gang want to sign you as an in-house producer. This was like early Wiz and Amber, right? The crazy thing during this process, Amber Rose, it's this record out there that Amber Rose did on Kanye to one of my beats.
Like this song.
Oh,
where the fuck is that record at? You got it. Listen, just wait.
Wow.
Just make it cheek bounce if you got it. You got it. Listen, just laugh with your hand by your mouth if you got it. Rub your eyebrows if you got that shit. He got that fucking shit.
Crazy.
All right, so she made. Did you hear it?
Yo, it's out there somewhere.
It's out there. It's out there.
Somewhere. He saying somewhere. We know exactly where it's at. I'm looking at where it's hitting.
Right there.
But yeah, they never dropped it.
Okay.
But it was, I remember the beat. It was on this beat that I named called Ice Cream. That was the name of the beat at the time. And it was, hey, I heard she was throwing shots.
Oh shit!
Yeah, but yeah, they wanted to sign me, and that was like my whole Taylor Gang affiliation. And I ended up doing records with Chevy. Ended up getting a feature for Juicy, which is Taylor Gang. So that's how my ties with Taylor Gang happened.
So before we go into more questions for my co-host, Not Safe for Ears, live with Dcember Moon, I'm just gonna run down the list of other people you work with. We ain't gotta touch into it.
Right.
I just want to say on the record, on the universe, so they know they fucking with.
Right.
This is why you've been watching. Okay, so we talked about Joe, we talked about Wiz, King Los, one of the nicest lyricists.
Yo,
I want to say ever, but I haven't heard everybody
That's crazy
ever.
because he had tuned in at one point.
This nigga is one of the best. I mean, but the punchline dies, but he's eating it. One of the best. All right. Then you got Jada Kiss. Who the fuck know that is? Who's Jada Kiss? Jim Jones.
Right.
Not Jim Jones, the rapper. The nigga who got the Kool-Aid. That's the one his first mixtape. 50 Cent. G Unit more specifically.
Okay.
Right. All right.
That's a crazy story that y'all had to hear though.
All right. Let's go into G Unit then.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, all right.
So you was on a set of power.
So how the whole G Unit thing even happened was me and my home. So the dude Conscious, I was telling you about, who introduced me to Joe Button. He was actually, before he started working with me, he was working with a producer in Chicago by the name of 9 Cent. Right. 9 Cent. Me and 9 Cent, we started building, and at the time, how you used to get ahead was we used to share connects. So I would pull all my resources, he would pull his resources. We would get a spot in NY and then stay out there for like 4 or 5 days. Be like, all right, yo, who can we get meetings with? And that's how me and the dude 9 Cent would build. During this particular time, we all had 9 Cent had did a track with the dude Ill Conscious, and it reminded K Slay of this Big L record, right? Big L, it was Big L. I think K Slay had something to do with Big L at the time, or like Papoose, or like something with that whole affiliation, and was like, yo, come up to Shade 45, right? So he came up to Shade 45, and he was like, yo, we gonna do an interview. So 9 Cent was like, yo, y'all might as well come up. We gonna come up with Conscious since we his producers. We get to Shade 45, right? K Slay walks by us and was like, yo, I'm gonna send somebody down to grab y'all, and never sends nobody down for us.
Damn.
So 9 Cent flew from Chicago. We drove up from Baltimore. We stood outside of Shade 45.
How long?
For like an hour or so.
And that hour felt like 2,000 years.
Like it was like the worst.
Was it raining outside? Tell me it was raining.
No, it was cold.
Fuck!
It was
cold.
Shit,
Shit, cold as enough.
New York.
That's that New York cold too.
It was cold.
That's brisk.
And you sitting there thinking like, what's going on?
Like, what the fuck is going on?
Did anybody try to hit him back, or y'all might like,
Nah,
I don't want to step on no toe?
We tried to hit.
Okay.
Like, we tried to hit him, but that was like the dude 9 Cent plug. You know what I mean? He was like, yo, we was hitting him. They were just like, it was just a big bluff.
Damn.
So what happened was, he ended up. This is 50.com had just came out. And he was like, yo, I'm about to find what his office was. The nigga ended up Googling the address, go to the G Unit office, and knocks on the door on a random, because he was like, I don't want to waste a trip. Our intern opened the door, the nigga named $8. He was like, $8 was like the plug. He was putting this on with so many artists in the beginning, like Nicki, he put this on. Man, it's only crazy. Man, we wanted to do 2 interviews.
Nicki who? Nicki
Minaj.
Nigga the fuck out of here.
He tried to put this on Nicki Minaj before she got hot, French Montana before he got hot. Like, he was just giving me their numbers. My nigga.
Was he the direct, like, the ear? Or
no, y'all lucky my phone right here. Yo, I have Nicki's old number in my phone when he was just giving me their numbers, like these artists.
Holla at him.
And be like, yo, holla at him, just say you know
Nicki
me.
before the booty shots.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't delete no numbers. So I still have Nicki Minaj's old number in my phone.
Do you masturbate to it?
No.
Masturbate to the number.
Nigga said, Nicki, you gonna feel this? I had it. You gonna feel this dick? That is hard though.
Yeah, so
you're outside waiting, he finds the office.
He found the office. A had ended up getting us in to G Unit, meeting with Dre McKenzie. Dre McKenzie was the head A&R over at G Unit at the time. 9 Cent ended up playing beats, ended up getting on before I self-destruct, and then I ended up building a relationship with them like a couple weeks later. And the record we did was supposed to go on TOS, the second G Unit album, but it ended up not making an album. They just did it as an internet build up single, and that's how I ended up doing that.
God,
Dope story.
Yeah,
But hold that ride back home. So they bluffed. Y'all
Yeah,
realized
was
it wasn't happening.
Yo, that
Did
shit
you
was-
question what the fuck you were doing? When you like,
Nah,
yo, this
bro,
is some,
like-
or did it make you like, you know, I'm gonna show these motherfuckers?
Yeah, I'm gonna show these motherfuckers. And we still talk to that we still talk to these people these days. You know what I mean? The same day. So it's like it's cool. It's like whatever.
It's just part of the game.
It's
You
part
chalk
of
it
the
up.
game.
So
Yeah,
now,
shout out to Nonsense. My man Nonsense, right? That nigga's winning right now.
Yeah.
He did something on Chance 3 project.
Mm.
He did a couple records on the Brent Fayez project.
Oh, shit.
You know, he in LA winning right now. He
Moving.
relocated.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Dope, dope.
that's what's up. So we've gone over all the past, and we've synced up some of your stories to how you've gotten and worked with some of the top artists across the globe.
Yeah.
Hold up. Let's say that one more time. Across the globe, right?
Across the motherfucking globe.
Across
Right
the
here.
globe.
He touching.
So as far as like your projection and where you've been, where you are now, what you see for yourself coming up soon? Like is some artists you still trying to get in there with? Or is this,
Speaking into
some
universe.
labels that you trying to, you know what I mean,
So
trying
right,
to connect
so
with?
right now, I do have like it's crazy. My dream list is completely different from most people's dream list on like who I want to work with. Like
This is gonna be so hard when we play this back and you do all this.
Exactly.
Just know right now, you're
Right.
speaking this shit into
so
existence.
like artists I really want to work with. Like I want to work with. I love doing like R&B. You know what I mean? That's why me and Nova's about to put out a whole project together. Like me and Nova is equivalent to
Shout
Drake.
out to her.
Me and Nova is equivalent to Drake and 40. Like
that's a big
like-
equivalent.
yeah,
that's
like
a real big.
like
big
you know how
parallel.
like that. You know how 40 beats just perfectly mesh with Drake.
Mm-hmm.
That's how me and Nova records are. Like
And you talking about our homie Nova?
Nova, yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
1 a.m.
That's what I said,
You
shout out
talking
to her,
about, you talking
yeah.
about 1 a.m. That's
Right,
how
you got
she
me
go by
over
1
there.
a.m.
Nova,
now.
first of all, Nova.
Yo,
First
she-
of all, her
baby.
voice. And I think Nova sometimes I'll tell her in person or in private, like, yo, you have that it. And I
Yeah.
don't know what it is. People gonna always say no, she don't, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, everybody gonna find a hate.
Yeah.
Of course.
She gotta blow.
Yo, she is. Watch,
She
yo.
gotta
Yo,
blow.
like
bro.
in the next,
And we try and come in the session. She already invited us.
yo,
Right.
like when I say like I'm working with this company round, getting mentored by a guy named Steve Rhythm right now.
I know Steve, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know y'all.
For real?
Yeah.
All right.
Not face to face, but listen, my story ain't about my story today. we look. So yeah, go continue.
You cross paths
I know
with
Steve.
people,
Yeah,
So he's been taking me under his wing, so a lot of different things is gonna like change in like probably like the next 6 months. So but
Dope.
like as far as my bucket
Nova,
list,
baby.
like who I feel like would mesh my sound really well, Janae. I want to do something with Miller J. real bad, which nobody want. Jacquees, like Jacquees.
Yo, he was twerking on stage though, bro.
Oh, I ain't see that.
At Afram, was it Afram we went to?
It was Afram.
I felt a little uncomfortable, dog. He was doing it for the girls, the little girls.
Yeah.
But he swung his dick at my face a little too much. He just kept, you ain't feel uncomfortable? I'm like, I gotta go.
No,
Yo. This
yeah, I know,
motherfucker
yeah.
kept twerking.
Yeah, no.
All right, so Jacquees, he's real talented.
Jacquees. And then of course, you know, people like bucket list. I have to work with Ye. I have
Jay.
to work with Jay.
Gotta work with
I
Jay.
have to work with, you know, some of these people that I grew up listening with. I actually get mentored on production with one of the founders. Like I said, I grew up in the Rockefeller Sound. So one of the founders of that, the founder of the Rockefeller Sound is a producer named Ben Carell.
Okay.
Bink.
He's excited talking about it.
No.
But yo, that's
No.
the
I
passion.
gotta give my OG like his props, and I feel like, yo, you know, when you have a platform, yo, you guys speak facts, right? This nigga Just Blaze stole this nigga Bink sound.
So chop this up too and post this.
So the original Rockefeller sound was Bink. If you do a timeline, you can go on Wikipedia, right? And you listen to Just Blaze beats when he sound, how he sound, and you listen to Bink beats, right? And you see how when Bink had did the Dynasty, right? And then because Bink on the Dynasty did 1-900 Hustler. A lot of people think that was Just Blaze, but it wasn't, right? After you know what I mean? After that, and then he did what's the Hot 97 freestyle that everybody be doing, the J record, Me, Him, or Her.
Okay.
Yeah, that record, right? That was Bink. Everybody thought it was Blaze. You get what I'm saying? But when they had met again on Blueprint, that whole sound that Bink was doing on Dynasty, Just Blaze kind of imitated it on Blueprint, And what branded him was he had just did the tag and said Just Blaze. So people automatically thought it was
And
Just
Big
Blaze.
wasn't doing that.
And Big didn't have a tag at the time.
So that was a business part of it.
Yeah.
But
I'm not understanding that's
it's
the
corny.
branding.
It's corny though because it's like, my nigga, why you gonna steal another man's style, another man's swag? You know what I'm saying?
Now, isn't that a part of, especially the art business, right? I forgot the saying. It's like, if you ain't stealing, you ain't trying, or like some of the best way you can.
Yeah. They say what they say. Good artists borrow, great artists steal.
Like it's not stealing, but like, all right, listen,
Yeah.
there's no new idea under the sun, right? And you kind of take what's before you and say, okay, this is the structure, this is the sound I'm looking at, and I'm gonna make it my own.
Right.
Is there any way if Just Blaze was here on this fucking worldwide show that everyone watches, if he could say, look, no, that wasn't the case. I would have my own sound that was similar because we both coming from that same era.
All right, so now listen.
Is there any way Devil's Advocate he could
listen
justify?
to this. Just Blaze used to almost sound like Swiss Beats.
Oh, sure.
Remember when he was doing what was that? What was the records?
You gonna have to school us.
Damn, I gotta go back and listen.
I
But
am my
it was a couple records. But Just Blaze used to sound like Swiss Beats in the early game. You get what I'm saying? And that's just what it was. And he was sampling, but he wasn't sampling on that sound. And that sound actually became the New York sound. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is. You know what I mean? So
Dope.
yeah.
We got any other questions before because now we asked all the safe questions when it comes to music, and I got a few unsafe questions when it comes to music. So let's do a quick shout out to the sponsor. We got a sponsor, dog. We got a sponsor. Tag into the sponsor's name. You remember any of that shit?
Yes. With love. .b. That's BEA. That's hand poured soy wax fragrance scented candles.
So fuck Bath and Body Works. Come holler at us, bitch.
Yeah.
We had a pussy smelling good. Listen,
Yes, indeed.
we're gonna have our own sex candle too.
I like the one that Anna could put on.
What was
there.
it, Fresh Out the Shop?
Dirty Secrets.
Dirty Secrets.
Anna-
And it'll be like
Shout
the
out to
glass
Anna.
will be like
Thank you,
maybe like
baby.
something like a woman's body.
Uh-huh.
Tasteful, right?
Yeah.
And then you would have like different scents. Or it might be maybe we might have one where it's like a dude fucking another girl from the back. And then the candles burn separately.
But it's gotta be.
I don't know, something
no,
fun.
but it's gotta be like in those like undermined like shape type joints where they got the lines where you gotta look at it a little difficult.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe
oh,
the
shit,
nipples.
somebody-
Maybe the nipples is where they burn it. Anyway,
Yeah, that could be it.
that's our sponsor. Withlove.b.
Man, make sure y'all check out Dcember Moon.
Give me a hand.
Go ahead, give me a hand. Give me a
He
hand.
about to fuck it all up.
And it's crazy because people don't even call me DC. So what?
I know like 4 names for this nigga. I gotta remind myself. All right, this
But look,
the name.
I went to go on Instagram and I went to go tag him and I'm typing in December Moon. I'm like,
So
what
what
the fuck is he
happened? So what
talking
happened?
about?
So what happened with
Somebody
that
stole
was
his name.
It's like some little Asian girl who haven't been activated on Instagram in like 20 years that has December Moon. So I was like, yo, how can I make this creative? I just used the letter D and then December.
That makes sense.
You know
No,
what
it
I'm
makes
saying?
sense.
December,
No.
and just do it that way.
They need to erase her fucking page.
I tried. I told
Yeah,
all
just
my
like how
friends.
you try to take Nick Jagger and
Yeah, I'm trying to
he
get
had,
it
like
there.
5 followers and shit.
Yo, I actually tried telling a whole bunch of people to go like spam her page.
She's not logging it in though.
Spam.
She probably not even logged into that
Right,
motherfucker.
she probably just forgot all about it. Don't even know her password. None of
Yeah,
that shit.
so it didn't work.
But yeah, make sure y'all check this dude out, man. Catch the wave.
The moon controls the wave.
Yes, indeed. Hey, what time the high tide come in? I need to know because I need to catch that motherfucker with a surfboard. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I
he
need to
laughing.
know
The
that
motherfucker probably know. All right, so
Yeah.
listen.
So-
We went through all the PG. All right, listen. Let's get to the shit.
We about to get.
Let's
We
get to
about
the
to
shit.
cut
I went to
shit.
school for audio engineering. I had my fair share of times in the studio.
Cut
Give me
shit.
some of them studio stories. Don't hit me. Yeah, this motherfucker looking at me like, don't say. Listen. All right, listen. You ain't gotta say nobody's name. You can even switch up the studios, the artists. But as a producer, even if it wasn't you, if you're at working with another major artist and you're like, wow, what in the fuck? This is shit you see on Uncut on BET. Remember that shit, right?
Yeah.
Give me some stories, y'all.
Ooh.
Groupies, all type people get beat the fuck
Somebody
up,
getting hit.
whatever.
Somebody was getting beat up, beat the cakes up in the bathroom.
I'm trying to think of something. I've always seen wild stuff happen. Like, you seen like everything you see on TV regarding the studio is pretty much what happens. You get what I'm saying? I seen fights. I seen
somebody just fucking right in the studio.
I seen chicks take to the bathroom and get slayed. You know what I'm saying?
And he right there, like nigga smoking. He like, yeah, play the beat and he getting his dick sucked.
Nah, nothing like that.
Man,
Like
you fucking up,
nothing
man.
that crazy.
Look, man,
but,
come back when you see that, man.
I really do see the power of how money and slight fame can get you. You know what I'm saying? One of our first trips, me and Jay Oliver.
J Baby. Listen,
This
man.
magazine-
J Baby, brother.
This
You gotta
magazine-
call him J Baby.
This magazine company had flew us out to Miami.
I remember that shit. I remember hitting you. First of all, I don't never hate. If a nigga went, I hit you like, yo, I see you moving.
Yeah.
That's dope. I remember that shit. And you
Yeah.
told me to go continue
Yeah,
the story.
so they flew us out. This magazine company flew us out to Miami. This was back in like
Baltimore niggas.
from 2010, and they shot a video. So I used to manage Jay Oliver as well. So I used to be his manager. Plus I was a producer. It was just like all weird.
Oh
You
yeah,
know
it's
what I'm
all
saying?
the way across the
Yeah,
board. You did the damn thing.
yeah. So they flew us out.
Mm.
They flew us out to Miami for like 6 days to shoot a video and a casting call for us. Like all like I'm talking like real deal, like
Grapes and shit, cheese
like,
and crackers
anything
and
we
shit.
wanted.
Right.
House this, pay for 3 meals a day, like all types of shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
It was dope. But that life showed you that we weren't from that city. But because this magazine company painted the picture like we were something way bigger, the chicks was flowing.
Yeah.
They was like, yo, let's come to the beach. Can we chill on the beach with y'all at night? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Wow.
it was just like...
How did they even fucking find out about it?
Because they was a part of, like, they was
The
either...
casting calls
They,
and all that kind
the
of
casting
stuff, right?
calls. So some of the girls, we were just like, yo, we want her. Like, yo, what's your number? Blah, blah, blah. Let's link up later. And they were just hitting us. Or they would hit me and I would be the liaison, let them know what we doing.
And they probably all got boyfriends too, these dirty bitches.
Yo, like,
Ain't that crazy though?
No. The crazy thing is, so I can say that I'm not gonna put nobody's names. I have seen chicks come to the studio that I know they have niggas, right? They would go to the studio, fuck with a nigga, go do what they do, and go right back home to their man. That's why I don't really trust women now. You get what I'm saying? Like, it'd be
Dick
crazy.
on their breath.
Damn,
You know, it'd be crazy.
They walk in the studio like,
Yeah, leave a ring on the fucking mic stand.
Yeah, you
Yep.
see
Damn.
some wild shit.
right on the volume joint.
How grimy is it? You kind of touched in on the Just Blaze with Bank and some of
then,
your
Joe
experiences
Budden.
trying to get money.
Yeah.
But how bad has it? Have you seen people just lives ripped apart, publishing? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm asking questions that we know if you watch TV.
Yeah.
But like
People-
something personal.
I've known people who've been in fucked up deals. You know, people close to me that have been in fucked up deals where they have to like they're fighting their way out their deal, or like, you know, they was in need for money at the time and gave away 100% of their publishing for their life. You know what I mean? So all they living off of is just upfront. You know what I'm saying? Like, always have a good lawyer and a good team around you. That's all I can say. Don't rush into certain situations, and just try to be smart about every move you make.
Gotcha.
Let's talk more about your love life. And the reason why I say this because it seems like R&B is close to your heart, right? And if you follow his stories or his posts, it's always somewhat of a nuance of that you're romantic. Right? So in this game of date with DC, right?
Yeah.
You got a nice lady, right? And y'all did your date, you like her, all that other shit, right?
Yeah.
And it's time, because it ain't all about love and romance, right? It's like, you gonna dick him down, right? Cause listen, because that hug shit and we eating vegan lunch,
Yeah.
you eating that ass?
I'm not eating no
You eating no ass?
You ain't tossing no salads.
Are you kissing the cheeks? Are you kissing the cheek?
Nah, yo.
You not even kissing the cheek?
Nah,
You letting it smack on your face?
Nah, my nigga.
All right.
My face is nowhere near.
All right, so hold on. I know you're a vegan.
Right.
You eating the pussy?
Of course.
You eating the pussy?
Of course.
At least that's a good thing.
I don't know if that's vegan though, yo. I don't know what meat. What kind of meat is that? We can't go with fish because that just make me want to throw up. What meat would pussy be
If it were me,
if it wasn't meat that he's violating as far as his vegan diet?
It's something tropical and foreign that we
You
can.
know what I'm saying? We got
he
blowfish.
turned into a fruit somehow. It's like
Right.
tropical and foreign.
this is a starfish.
Okay. Give me some more questions. Give me some more wild shit that you want to ask. You got some shit.
Yeah, well, I had because I got a little sticky notepad and shit, you know, for back when we back in the regular studio. So just a couple questions. Well,
I want to ask you so much shit, but I can't ask you certain shit.
You can't.
No, it's certain shit that we've talked about. All right, we can't. There's some shit that's really made for this shit, but I can't. You got political connects, baby. Continue. Ask you shit. I'm gonna find a way to fame you this shit. We're gonna find a way.
All right, so you know how everybody has this whole, what do you consider cheating? What would you consider the staple of cheating? Like the pinnacle of it? Like when you get the number, if you kiss the person, if you fuck the person, if you get hit, what is the staple to know that that person has actually cheated?
Can I add something on top of that?
Can
I add something on top of that? That's perfect. Especially considering your type of field you're in. So like for regular niggas, like you got a network. You might have to be around a lot of fucking women. Or your girl might have to be around a lot of thirsty dudes. Like a Nikki. And you gotta be cool with it. So knowing that, because we've talked about cheating, how does that feel like knowing those rules and the parameters which you play?
You know, in the level of
honestly, it depends on your relationship and the understanding that you have between you and your spouse. You know what I'm saying?
Like that.
Cheating is only a mental thing, and it can be physical, but it's only what you put yourself into. You know what I'm saying? Cheating to one person might be a kiss on the cheek, but that might be showing a sign of endearment, like, you know what I mean, like in certain culture. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's just an understanding between you and the person you're with. To me, like everybody say, you have emotional. You can cheat emotionally. You can cheat physically. Right.
Slide in DMs. You can never touch a motherfucker, but being in them DMs crazy.
Yeah, like I don't know. Some people consider that cheating. Some people, I don't consider that being necessarily cheating. I feel like that's more disloyalty, and loyalty is way more important to me. You know what I'm saying? Just because, like you said, the field I'm in, I have to be able to trust you to bring you around certain things that I know that you ain't gonna run your mouth about. Right. You know what I mean? Like it might be certain meetings or conversations I'm having with certain people that can't ever leave the room. And if you're there, I need to know that I can trust you and be loyal. So loyalty is way more important to me. You know what I mean? So.
All right. You got a question?
No, keep going.
I got another question then. All right. So people always talk about nasty, freaky sex, right? So what's the difference in between normal sex and freaky sex? At what point in time do you draw the line? And say,
we know this nigga ain't eating no ass. Boy, I don't know what's wrong with you, DC. What's your line between normal and freaky sex? He probably suck toes. You suck toes, don't you, DC?
I don't suck no toes.
You don't suck no toes? I don't suck toes.
You lick the kneecap then.
He licked something. He licked under the kneecap. He licked the
back of the kneecap.
The bottom sweaty part of the titty. What's the freaky line for you? What's the freaky line for you?
The freaky line for me. What
you eat pussy. You suck titties. I know you do the finger, all that, right? A girl like I want some other shit. Where is like, all right, shit. This is the line, and I fuck with it, or
yo, honestly, I'm like,
she want pee.
My nigga, I be on some wild shit, bro. I be on some 50 Shades of Grey, like.
Nigga, you ain't eat no ass though. No, you ain't. No, he telling himself. So you be beating the shit out of him. Like,
yeah, he get the whip in the
you that whip ass motherfucker.
Oh, he put him in the fucking the guillotine shit.
So
we was talking about on one of the shows.
That's what you. So what is it? What's your freak?
You put him in a swing.
You got to swing, my nigga. Y'all want to swing. You got to swing.
Yo.
For you gotta swing, yo. All right, you been on a swing.
You know how to tie the ropes and all that shit too?
Yo, it's all in technique. You know,
this nigga be tying the rope and shit.
This nigga hit him with the one leg up.
The little shit when they can't move and shit.
They fucking swing.
This nigga.
I never tried to
you with the shits, bro. I give you that. He with some of the shits.
So
you can't say you with all the shits because you ain't eating that.
That you would consider that freaky. Like when you start getting to like objects, toys, apparatuses.
Whatever to take, we're sexual beings, you know what I'm saying? So whatever take you there, or whatever take her there, like I want to fuck her mind before I fuck her body and then fuck her soul up.
Yo, chill with that wild shit. Chill with that wild shit. This is about this goddamn fuck her mind and shit. What about if she wants you like to pee on her?
I'm not pissing on no bitch.
All right, what if she wants you to choke her? This is a good one.
All right, you can, choking is cool, yeah.
What about hit her?
You know what I'm saying?
I'm talking about
like if that's what turn her on, like some
back to back, it's like bop, 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 bop.
I'm not gonna say I'm gonna slap in her face, but she be like,
remember you black.
Yeah, she be like, yo,
nigga, you could go to jail.
Grab a DC, y'all nigga DC.
Yo, she be like, yo, slap on her titties. Yeah, I'm gonna slap on her titties. I'm gonna slap her ass. I'm not gonna slap on her face.
All right.
No, don't do that.
What if you say smack your dick on her face?
I would do that.
My nigga! Alright. I'm about to say he about to leave me.
You ever
yo.
use nipple clamps?
He
on
about
a
to
chick?
leave me.
Yeah.
What?
Nipple clamps.
Yeah, yo, you know they got the shit with the nipple clamps.
No, I don't know.
You don't
I gotta
know?
get up on it. we got to talk after this. This nigga said swing. He ain't never told me that shit. All right, what other question you got? Yo?
Oh no! Well, it was kind of like a two-part question, so that was just the first
Okay,
part, right?
okay.
So now my thing is all right. So we've gone into the logistics of normal sex, freaky sex. Normal sex is just your average, switch positions, maybe head, whatever the case is. But when we start talking about nasty and freaky, we start getting into chains, whips, eating ass, and all that kind of shit. So the question is, why isn't nasty sex normal sex to begin with?
Sex is sex. It's whatever pleases your partner. You get what I'm saying? If Shorty be like, yo, this is how I want it, this is how I like it, you get what I'm saying? That's what you gotta do. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
And that's it's all about pleasing your woman or whoever your sexual partner, please whoever you with. Because you know what I mean, if you're not pleasing them sexually, I don't care what nobody say, they're gonna find it somewhere else or some type of way, shape or form.
Sure indeed.
You know what I mean? So
if you had to put on some music and you about to fuck, as a producer.
Yo, y'all gonna laugh at this.
Oh shit!
I say this every day,
Lord.
all day, every day.
Don't.
If I'm about to have sex and a chick throws on 90s R&B, I'm putting my clothes on and walking out the fucking door.
How? That's like part of it. Like you would think. That's maybe some of the samples you would even go to.
It don't matter. I don't want to hear all them 5-part hum. Like, listen, that type of like all those 5-part harmonies and shit is trash to me, my nigga.
It'll throw you off.
Like, yo,
you'll be deep and you be like,
listen. You throw on some Weekend. Like, all right, picture this. This is what I hear, right? I'm painting the picture with you. Niggas be like, yo, you throw on the Weekend, right? The Weekend sets a tone. It sets a certain class, that a certain caliber. You know what I mean? When you throw that on, right? Throw on House of Balloons or Beauty Behind the Madness. Okay. That shit sounds like you top floor at the Four Seasons. You get what I'm saying? Penthouse suite. You got 5 bitches in the room. You get what I'm saying? You might be doing coke. You get what I'm saying? Other one might have your robe on drinking rosé.
And that's what you're looking for.
You get what I'm saying? That's exactly like you know what I'm saying? That just
somebody in the swing and shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like it gives you that vibe. It gives you that vibe. You know what I'm saying?
So jazz, no.
And that
jazz.
You better take that
ethnic Afro beat.
You gotta take that shit out of here.
No ethnic Afro beat. No.
Nothing. I did
reggaeton. No.
Like back in the day, I used to fuck the club music.
Wow. This nigga said,
brats like shit, tired of shit.
Hell yeah, nigga, pump me like a motherfucker.
See, you trying to keep up with their cadence.
Right. Yo, I got a few questions. I'll get back to some more of them other questions. Yo, could you survive the Hunger Games?
I asked myself that before. I feel like I could survive the Hunger Games. Could I kill one of my friends to survive? I would have to.
Why the fuck you look at me, man?
I would have to find a way to make.
He said you the shortest one. You got to be the first one to go.
I would have to find a way to at least save somebody closest to me, or I would have to put myself in a position where I had to distance myself from them, so I wouldn't have to be the one to kill them.
Right.
Because I wouldn't be able to live with that. Because after that, you know what I mean? You'll be mentally fucked up.
Right.
It's crazy. You ever seen this movie called Battle Royale?
Yes. Was that in The Office? Battle Royale. I've seen it on Netflix. I thought I watched it.
Okay, it is a Korean film, and the Korean film is it's almost like Hunger Games. This came out like early 2000s, maybe 2002, 2003. Basically, it's say we all, or perfect example, we all went to high school together, right? We had the worst class in high school, right? Mm-hmm. The teachers was like, they taking us on a field trip. But when they take us on this field trip, they gas us on the coach bus going to the field trip. We wake up, we on this island, and we all got these little neck things around our neck, right? And they telling us like, y'all was the most terrible class in history, blah, 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 blah. The only way now to survive is y'all have to kill each other.
Oh, shit, I watched this.
So, nuts. Yeah. So, like, you gotta pull a number out, and whatever that number is attached to a weapon. So somebody might start off with an AK-47, and somebody might start off with some chopsticks. You know what I'm saying? Just a number, and that's what you start off with your weapon. And you have, I think they give you a couple of days to complete it, and if you're in a certain section or zone, the necklace blow up. If you try to take it off, the necklace blow up. And you gotta kill your friends.
I'm gonna watch this on Netflix then. That shit sounds
They got
Battle Royale.
I think they got 1 and 2 on there.
I've seen it. I thought I watched it that day.
No, I know I ain't watching
Yeah,
it.
so
what else you got, huh?
Man, I got a couple questions on here. It's fucking crazy.
I know we running on. How much time we got?
All right. Yeah, where we at?
We about an hour and 4 minutes.
Okay.
So
if you had, all right, so funny question. If you had the pace of a sloth, where would you waste all your time trying to get to you?
Who the fuck did that? That was you?
Hell yeah.
Boy, that weed. Give me some of that shit. Give me some of that medical fucking weed. Say that shit again. Nigga DC like what?
Yo,
the fuck?
If you had the pace of a sloth, where would you waste all your time trying to get to you?
I don't even know what to say.
Yo, nigga, you was high as shit when you wrote that question. I guess it would be somewhere. Let's talk about the vegan shit.
Okay.
Let's dig into that. You were probably wasting 2 years getting to a vegan spot. What the fuck made you vegan?
So what made me go vegan?
He's like, I don't know the fuck that is.
What made me go vegan is we got I was about to say we got a couple people in here. We got a shout out to everybody that stopped.
Woo! Gang. Not safe is. Not safe is. Woo!
Pretty Ricky. Pretty.
So what made me go vegan was back in 2014. I was working at a bank. I was working at PNC Bank inside one of the grocery stores, right? And at that time, I was waiting for one of my homegirls to get off of work. She worked at the pharmacy.
What day was this again?
I think this was like 2014,
okay.
2013, around there, 2014, 2013, somewhere around there. And I was waiting for her to get off the pharmacy. So by the pharmacy, they had the little blood pressure cuff machine, right? So I put my arm in the blood pressure cuff, just waiting, bullshitting around, just bored, you know what I mean? And it was just like, yo, you have high blood pressure. And I'm like, what? So I tried it again, and it was like, yeah, you got high blood pressure.
So, yeah, nigga,
so I asked the pharmacist, I was like, yo, is this shit even calibrated right? And she said, yeah, it's pretty accurate. So I was like, all right, yo, maybe I was running around too much today. Something was on my mind. So I waited 2 days. I came back, tried it again. It said the same thing. Made an appointment with my doctor. He checked it for real. He was like, you have high blood pressure, right? I'm going to tell you.
You just found out on the whim. Just
playing around, right? I got so scared that for 2 days, I didn't know what to eat, right? During this time, I was like, yo, I'm eliminating all processed food. I didn't do no fast food. I ain't do no canned vegetables, no canned nothing, none of that shit. I was doing all fresh produce, and I was doing seafood at the time, right? So I was kind of like pescatarian. During that time, I started feeling a little bit better. I went to the doctors, and I had stopped taking the medicine for like a month. Went back to the doctors like 3 to 6 months later. I can't remember the actual time frame. But during that time frame, he had checked my blood pressure, and it was normal, right? That's when I realized the food that we're eating was poisoning us, right? So when I went back for the follow, he was like, track it for another couple months and then follow up with me. If it's still good, we're going to take you off the medicine, right? I tracked it again for another couple months, went back, it was even better. So during that time, that's when I had found out, okay, like I said, the food was poisonous, and I just did straight pescatarian. Ever since then, my blood pressure been good, right? What happened was after that, I started dating this chick, and she's kind of the reason why my name is Dcember Moon. Yeah. She was more of a naturalist, like, so even to like the shower head, she had filters on her shower head to try to purify the water, natural soaps, natural toothpaste, like all that type of shit. So she wasn't vegan at all, you know what I'm saying? But like that kind of got me into the culture. And then I had did like a 3-month vegan fast, like vegan diet, and I felt amazing. But it was towards the end of the summer. It was probably a little bit more than 3 months. It was like towards the end of the summer because we had run into the holiday. Once the holidays came, I went off track, and I was going to this gym with a trainer. He was a vegan, so he was always preaching veganism, and we were doing different detoxes and fasts. So I started seeing it, and I started doing my own research, and then that's when I was just like, a year ago, I've been vegan 1 year and 3 months. So one day I woke up, I was like, yo, I'm changing my life. And I went and I just changed my life, and I started being vegan. And then you start seeing these documentaries like What the Health and stuff like that was like backing some of the stuff that I was already reading. And it made me be like, yo, this country got fucked up food. You know what I'm saying? Got some real fucked up food. And
how hard was it for you to make that transition?
Honestly,
it probably wasn't that hard.
It wasn't that hard.
Life and death.
Yeah.
It
just made that. If you wake up and you have that decision,
like I literally woke up. You know, most people like I'm gonna wait Monday to start something. I'm gonna wait. You know what I mean? Whenever I literally woke up and was like, I'm no longer eating none of this stuff.
I'm thinking right before that 3-month vegan challenge you did.
So like when I did the vegan challenge, that was my first time because like I said, I was going to a trainer at the time who was practicing veganism.
And you at the time you were eating seafood.
I was at the time doing the vegan. Prior to that, I was just doing pescatarian.
Right.
Then when I met with the trainer, I had did like this little vegan when he was preaching vegan, vegan fast type of thing, and it was cool. But like I said, I fell off and just started eating regular food again, still eating macaroni and cheese and stuff with dairy.
Yeah.
But people don't realize dairy is the number one cause to a lot of these diseases because it causes the most mucus, and the mucus is what causes like the disease. You know
high
what I mean?
cholesterol, all kind of shit.
All types of stuff. So that's what kind of got me into it, and I've been a year and 3 months strong. Oh, and then Dr. Sebi. During this time, I was researching Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi, if you're not familiar, he's a holistic doctor, and his research was found to cure herpes, AIDS, cancer, all these things from doing a raw vegan diet, which is a raw vegan alkaline diet, which is completely different from just being vegan. Because a lot of vegans out here, they're still eating like tofu and all that shit with soy, and soy is not good for you, especially for men, because it has a high estrogen rate into the soy. So you want to stay away from soy. I try to eat like more of a lot of plants. I do eat my vegan burgers and stuff once in a blue moon, but on a regular day, I do a lot of grilled vegetables, quinoa, cauliflower rice, stuff like that. I try to stay away from as much processed food as possible.
Right.
Has it helped your creativity at all?
Yeah.
Mental clarity?
Yeah, mental clarity. It's so crazy. I can tell with my body, like say if somebody cook and they tell me that it's vegan, or they didn't cook it in certain things, if I eat it, I can feel it instantly.
You can
like yesterday, like I was like, they had one of the places I went to, they had the cauliflower rings, right? Whatever they cooked it in, either cooked it in some animal, like animal grease or whatever, or they crossed it. And as soon as I get it, my nose started getting real stuffy. I started feeling congested, and that's how I can always tell when somebody put like dairy or something. My body reacts instantly, and it goes away. Like I'm still stuffy now. I haven't been stuffy. I haven't had cough, sneeze, like none of that shit in months. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's how I know when somebody do something to the food.
Wow.
And that wasn't because of that pussy you ate last night.
I wasn't eating no pussy last night. I was in the studio till 6 in the morning.
You got another question before we wrap it up? Because we're about an hour in.
We about an hour.
I mean, I got a couple more questions, but we don't have to do them right now.
Let's do a few more.
I want to tell y'all 2 stories.
All right. Hold on. Did you also want to play some music?
I'll play some music.
So let's
we'll polish off with one more question.
Okay.
Story and then music.
Okay.
Let's see. All right, so let's go with this, right? You had to be a soldier of choice. Which one would you be? Navy SEALs, Army, Green Beret, Air Force, Special Force, or Men in Black?
Nigga, I'll be fucking.
You better say it. The answer's right there.
Men in Black.
I'm about to say, what the fuck are you thinking? Did you choose any one of them? You ain't seen the movie Men in Black.
I'm gonna be Men in Black, for real.
I want that deneuralizer. What they call it? That's all you need.
Yeah,
that's all you need.
Hey, yo, I go to my wife real quick. Hey, remember that shit?
This nigga dirty as shit.
That's almost like how y'all watch the show Black Mirror?
Yeah, hell yeah,
So
watch Black Mirror.
You know, like the episode where like you can rewind your spouse's mind.
Oh, we ready for all that.
Like niggas will get caught up real quick. You can't lie about shit.
It's crazy.
Sure.
The murder scene, Black Mirror. By the way, if y'all haven't seen it, you gotta check that. If you haven't seen it, I don't know what the fuck you're looking at. Let's jump into these 2 stories.
Yeah,
okay, the first. If anybody's watching who's a producer, I'm gonna tell you 2 things. Always, when you come across an artist, always look around the team and the situation behind them, and don't ever downplay them. And 2 is
their roles,
and try to maneuver as an A&R. Because if you know how to maneuver as an A&R, you'll be able to see talent before talent blows.
So what's A&R? Give them the actual words of it.
I don't even know what that shit means.
I don't know. All right, so maneuvers A&R, you mean just like
be able to
not just selfish about your craft.
You gotta fucking know what that shit mean by right?
All this repertoire, something like that.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
But move as an A&R because you'll be able to find talent. One of my A&R friends at RCA, he always said I would be a good A&R because I be up on new artists, and 90% of the time, those artists blows will become somebody. Like, I found out about Tinashe before Tinashe blew up. I was on Meek way early, even when, it's so funny, one of my homies who produced for Meek didn't think Meek was going to get out of Philly. And he got out of Philly and blew up. But I was like, yo, Meek gonna be the next one. Or like, it's just been several situations like that.
Where people notice that you have you got that ear for
it. But that was like later where I was like, okay, I'm starting to pay attention. Prior to that, I had 3 fuck-ups in life, right? That could have made me win right now. The first one was, you remember the guy Sycamore from back in the day? He used to have the instrumental mixtapes. He's Travis Scott A&R now. Whatever. He had this company called The Famous Friend back in the day where they were trying to sell these packages to get artists, producers, and everything. It was like a mini Rock Nation. They had Nicki on the roster. They had a couple of basketball players, football players, etc. Right? So I got cool with one of the reps. The Famous Friend ended up coming to Baltimore, and they was bringing this artist to Baltimore at this place called Taste in South Baltimore. It was like a little club, not too far from Club Mate, right? So he was going to Taste, and he was bringing this artist, but the dude Sycamore was like, yo, we want y'all to come through. At the time, and I'm not trying to be sexist, it was a woman artist, right? And at this time, I didn't believe in women artists because they weren't hot. Eve was gone, Fox was gone, all these female rappers, it was not cool.
Non-existent.
It was non-existent at this time. Come to find out, the artist that I shitted on was Nicki Minaj.
Wow.
And I could have been working on her project. This is when her first show was in Baltimore. That was her first show at this place called Club Taste in Baltimore.
Wow.
Yeah.
The foresight, or lacking the foresight of it, but also the industry, letting you know.
The belief in what was conjuring up in the meantime.
Yeah, I didn't have the belief or the faith in it. The second thing was my homegirl I went to high school with. She was Jack Daniels model. She was like, yo, I want you to come to this Good Music event, right? She was like, at the time, Good Music wasn't good music. They had like the old niggas like Ron Fest, GLC, Constant Quest. I mean, it wasn't like the good music that's hot today.
Right.
And she was like, yo, a good music artist performing, you should come, try to get your beats, I can walk you in because I'm I'm hosting. I was like, yo, nobody want to do nothing for them if it ain't Kanye. You know what I'm saying? Come to find out, it was Kid Cudi. He had just dropped Day and Night.
Damn.
Right? Sorry. You know what I'm saying?
So
that's number 2. The third one, this is when my man's, he was in LA and he was on like a live stream with J-Rock, right? There was some little dirty ass nigga in the background. My man just like, yo, send this nigga some beats, yo, he's dope. I was like, yo, this nigga don't even look like he can rap. I was like, he's like a little dirty hood nigga. It ended up being Kendrick Lamar.
Wow, I know you was like, oh, you shot yourself in the foot like a motherfucker.
Yeah. So those are like my 3, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, the epitome of, like, sometimes you gotta take those risks even if you don't feel like it might be worth it.
Right. That's so hard though. Because you probably took a fair share of your fucking in the middle of the night, meet me in New York.
Yeah, nigga, I'm talking about like, yo,
ride to this side of DC or ride to Florida.
Yeah, my bro, I slept on the trains in New York. I slept at the bus station in New York. That's what I'm saying. A lot of these niggas, they be claiming they be putting in work, they ain't putting in work. Unless I risk everything for my music. Everything. If you don't tell me like, yo, you took your last bit of money and had to live off a cup of noodles off a 7-Eleven or a dollar slice, and you from Baltimore and you trying to finesse your ways in these offices to make it happen, you ain't really working, my nigga. Like I'm the type of nigga where I made nothing into something. I was never the best producer. You know what I'm saying? I just worked harder than all these niggas. You get what I'm saying? All these niggas was better than me at one point. All these niggas, but I outworked them. They dropped off. They lost hope. They gave up passion. I'm not giving up because I was destined to do this. You get what I'm saying?
My nigga.
Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, a lot of niggas, a lot of niggas let that girl get in the way. Fuck a relationship. A lot of niggas, I quit several jobs. Fuck jobs because I'm going to always get money back. You get what I'm saying? It's just like, yo, you got to learn how to out-hustle and outwork the next man. I'm not, like I said, I'm not the most talented, but I will always outwork you. I'm always willing to learn.
It's funny because I made a post just like
you
that.
know what I mean? So
I said, yo, you might be bigger, you might be stronger, you might be more cut, whatever the case is, but you will not outwork me.
Yeah. So it's just like you won't.
I respect
and that's that.
What if,
So,
now you touched on the A&R thing.
Yeah.
What if your final destination isn't so much being a creative in music, but really going back to that,
And
the A&R thing,
yeah,
like
I know.
gelling, your creativity
Yeah.
of gelling pieces together.
And that's something I've been having conversations with people about lately, because I was always, even if I wasn't making the beat, people would call me in a room to be like, to listen to that project and be like, yo, what's your
find out what
input?
it might need.
Yo, what you think about this mix? How you think I should do this arrangement? Who you think I should put in the record? So I'm always, I'm a jack. I'm not gonna say I'm a jack of all trades, but like I'm gonna put myself in a position where I'm needed, and I'm gonna know how to adapt to that need. You know what I mean?
Dope.
So
I
will making beats will always, and producing music will always be a passion. But if my calling is definitely on to like the more creative side on that end of like guiding a person or artist or a group of producers, I'm down for that as well. You know what I mean?
I feel that's a beautiful place to leave it.
Yeah.
I feel like he ended with some fire.
like some real
I feel like
fire.
somebody hopped in
And I
your
wish-
live and he want to talk to him.
and
And these bitch ass niggas
Let me tell
ain't
y'all,
fucking with me. I told these niggas that.
So if you guys missed what he just said,
Nigga, you on
make
the camera
y'all-
right there, too?
I know, but
All right,
I'm
so you
talking
talk-
to the people that want to check the Instagram live.
Okay.
So you might check our live out, but if you're not watching the fucking YouTube, then you missed a lot of knowledgeable
Good
shit
shit.
just now. So
Good
make
shit.
sure you're checking, subscribing to the link on the bio.
Yeah.
And make sure
The
you
one that
subscribe,
says
man.
December Moon,
It's
the moon
serious,
controls
man.
the
Y'all
wave.
make sure we bringing heat to y'all every time. And we got December Moon
December
right
Moon.
here.
The
My
coolest
man.
name, the coolest name in the biz right now.
Yep. Control the wave.
The moon control. And honestly,
Then we got
shit
Pretty
started taking off as soon as I changed my name to that.
Mm.
Like it wasn't like I got people was more receptive to that
So, man,
name
subscribe.
when I said my name is December, and people remember me more because they never met a December before.
It's part of rebranding.
Yeah,
Companies
yeah.
do it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So it's smart. It shows more of that whole business side.
It
of
was strategic because like when I came up with the name, I saw the trends in names. It was more of a spiritual thing as well.
Mhm.
Like I said, my ex put me onto it. It was more spiritual, and also it was like a branding thing. I wanted a name where like I seen technology and emojis was taking over. I wanted something that I can use emojis, so when my fans can engage with me with my own emojis. I wanted to come up with a tagline that stuck. You get what I'm saying? The moon controls the wave because scientifically
It
the
does.
moon really controls the wave. Everybody be like,
That's why I
yo,
asked
you
you
on
what
this?
time the tide
You know
come
what I
in.
mean? Everybody be like, yo, I'm on this wave. I'm on this wave. No, I'm controlling your wave, nigga. If I step in this room, I'm controlling that whole wave right there. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that's how it's deeper than that, but that's
Yeah,
like the
no,
gist,
I
you get what I'm
definitely-
saying?
I
It
understand
definitely
that
came
whole
from
thing.
more. Honestly, the name really came from more of a spiritual side from what my ex was into. She was, one of the crystal chicks. You know what I'm saying? She had a lot of
The
crystals.
sage and all that kind
Yeah,
of stuff and
you
everything.
know what I'm saying? She did like a lot of spiritual, work during that time, and it just kind of transitioned over to me, and that's how it
You
worked.
took it and ran with it.
Give them every way possible they can contact you and how they can follow you.
Right.
Before
These-
Hey,
you
look, don't hold up before you start. Don't contact them unless you got $1 million on the table, right?
All budgets are accepted.
So don't stop my band, nigga. I take a hand, bro.
All budgets are
Where can they
accepted.
contact you? All the social media
Honestly, you
platforms.
can email me. And if you want to get everything's honestly on my Instagram. I just brought my Instagram back, so you can reach me on Instagram. It's DCEMBER December Moon on Instagram. It's just no E in between the D and the C and December Moon. You can find me on Instagram. I have my email on there. I have like all my links to everything, so you can just follow me on Instagram.
All right,
Cool.
another quick shout out to WithLove.be, our sponsor,
WithLove.be, our
candle
sponsor.
maker. Ladies, if you want to smell good, holla at her.
Yeah, hand poured soy wax. Make sure y'all check out.
Yo, do I get a free
Candles
candle
smell
since I'm a guest? I just want to.
So
we gonna
like
talk about
sponsors.
Let's
Sponsors, you need to be sponsoring these guests.
I think we should definitely set up a discount. It should be a nice, sizable discount so you can fuck them in the swing with the
candle burning and shit.
with the candle and then the window open
And
with the
then-
moonlight shining through and shit. Close us up, baby.
All right,
Where
but
can
look,
they
make sure
find
y'all
us?
check us out, man. Instagram, man. Not Safe Ears. Make sure y'all catch us. Make sure y'all shoot us the questions in the email at notsafeears@gmail.com. We on Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Hit the subscribe button and then click on the turn on post notifications so then that way y'all know exactly when we going live. Y'all can tune in, man. Make sure y'all check us out. Next Sunday, we live at 12. Thanks for December Moon coming on, bro.
Yeah, we
with the
appreciate you,
knowledge.
brother.
Greatly
Appreciate you,
appreciate
brother.
it, man.
Thank you all our
Y'all
fans.
make sure y'all check it
iTunes,
out.
what is it? Germany? Australia.
Germany, Australia, Japan, all kinds of shit, man.
We appreciate y'all.
Thank
We
y'all
love
so
all the
much.
DM, all the love, everything.
Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend.
Dope.
Tell their girlfriend that they fucking their ex-girlfriend.
Damn, well, damn.
All that, yeah.
Lovely. Now say biz, bitch.
We out.